Very good afternoon to everyone, each of the club members of the Ahmedabad chapter, and to our partners with whom we are having this event on this evening. After some liberation from COVID, we thought of having some in-person event, but unfortunately the tides turned around again, not in favor of us, and we turned on to virtual events again, but again with the hope that we will very soon have our long due in-person event. I take this opportunity again to welcome you all for this event. Members, this event is in collaboration with Sedibuz and partnership with TeamViewer and Suse. Okay, I deliberately said Suse because that's what we normally do it, and probably the speaker will correct me where I want them to correct us. How do we pronounce Suse generally? Okay, so in this event, I will just take a brief touch base and welcome you all. This is with Sedibuz, an ISO 9001 2015 certified organization with entrepreneurs having 2 decades of inclusive experience working from government and public sectors. They are go-to choice for digital transformation, whether you have started or you are in midst of it, or you want to get into digital transformation. They help us out, and a one-stop solution provider for various platforms. I will hand it over to Kiran, and Kiran will take over the proceedings of introducing our 2 eminent speakers, Krunal and Neeraj. Krunal from TeamViewer and Neeraj from Suse. So over to you, Kiran. And before I hand it over, just a small announcement. Keep watching, hearing the sessions very closely. Not only they will benefit you in your knowledge base, but it will help you to win exciting prizes at the end of the presentations. Thank you, and over to you, Kiran.
Yeah, thank you, Anish. Vidisha, can you make me a present, because I have to present few slides.
I have shared the right, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to this event of CIOKlub meeting, where we want to actually present a technology session. My name is Kiran Deolalkar. I am the founder and CEO of Sedibuz Consulting. As Anish rightly said, we are an ISO certified organization, and we handle our customers into the area of digital technologies and innovation solutions. So I think I just briefed about this particular thing, but just to say, apart from the corporate sector, we are also very, very closely working with the government departments and have been successful in driving the transformation initiatives by way of providing the innovative solutions to the government as well as the corporates. On the what we do, basically, we have 3 areas of operations. One is in solutions, wherein we are partnering with SAP, Suse, Automation Anywhere, Smart Energy Water, and TeamViewer. On the services front, we do implementation services, we do application management and support, and we also do a staffing support. On the advisory, there is a consulting, coaching, and we also are specialized in the creating a go-to-market strategy for the startups. So let me quickly introduce our 2 eminent speakers. The session 1 will be taken by Neeraj Athalye. Neeraj Athalye is a managing director of Suse India, and he is going to talk about open source, open doors. Quickly, a brief about Neeraj. Neeraj leads the Indian subcontinent business for Suse, which is one of the world's largest open source companies, which is headquartered in Germany. Neeraj has around 25 plus years of experience, primarily in the technology industry. He has been working with several big organizations, and he has also won several industry awards, customer success stories in his list of achievements which he has done. Neeraj has been an entrepreneur himself, and he also mentors some startup groups. So Neeraj, welcome to the session. I also quickly introduce Krunal. Krunal Patel is a head of TeamViewer, country manager of TeamViewer India and South Asia region. He handles India and South Asia business. He has more than 18 years of technology, sales, and business management experience. His primary focus at TeamViewer is to enable enterprises to solve the productivity-related problems with TeamViewer Frontline, which is augmented reality solution, and TeamViewer remote connectivity platform as well. He has held various key positions in several renowned companies in the technology and enterprise software industry like SAP, Gartner, Intelligence, and E3. So Krunal, welcome to the technology session. So now I will hand over the session to Neeraj. So Neeraj, over to you.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Really appreciate the time given. I have met some of you on this forum in the past. We've had a chance to work together on several initiatives. So thanks again for listening to me in the new avatar in open source. The whole SUSE 28-year-old German company and its journey in this open source world has been quite exciting. What I'll do in the next few minutes is share with you a few new things. As Kiran said, it's a good time to learn new things. During COVID, we learned a lot of things that we hadn't anticipated. And in our domains in technology, I think going back to school is not something we have an option for. We have to keep going back to school almost every time. Yeah. So let's start with a few interesting areas, and maybe some of you already know about this, but this will be kind of fresh for some people who are going to touch new technology for the first time. For last several years, many of you have deployed SAP, non-SAP, PLMs, CRMs, HR solutions, nowadays analytics, AI, ML solutions, IoT solutions, and you would be quite familiar with the concept of virtualization. In 2020 onwards, I think people are moving from virtualization to containerization, and that's a big change that maybe some of you on this call have started seeing. Your infrastructure teams are definitely encountering this new phenomena. While containerization in your environments today will be 5 to 10%, but globally it is increasing at about 60-65% year on year. So virtualization is essentially where you simulate your physical hardware, whereas containerization is where you actually simulate your OS and other layers. Yeah. If you look at virtualization, which you do today on VMware and many other tools that you use hypervisor to detach the physical layer, whereas you essentially use Dockers in containerization. You know, these are just one-on-one things. Virtualization is quite heavy, whereas containers are much lighter, and which is why it is very easy to have a very, very secure and scalable environment using containers. Virtualization is difficult to port. It takes a while to move applications, launch new virtual machines and all of that, although that is much faster than what it used to be in the past, obviously. But containers are even more fast. Yeah. So virtualization to containerization is the new movement that we are seeing. Most of the large companies that we engage with who have developed softwares and homegrown applications in the last 15-20 years, many of them have come to end of life. Many of them need to be modernized. And that's where making it microservices driven, converting it into containers is what a lot of the companies are doing. Yeah. And this is the new architecture. And a classic example is when you look at a cricket match on something like, say, for example, a Hotstar, you know, when 9 o'clock in the morning, the match starts, there are about 5 million users using Hotstar on the mobile. India versus New Zealand, and India wins the toss. Suddenly, 5 million concurrent users becomes 18 million concurrent users. Somebody starts hitting 4s and 6s, 18 million becomes within less than 10 to 15 minutes, it becomes 25 million concurrent users. That's the kind of volume and scale that you're talking of. Suddenly the best cricketer gets out, and it's lunchtime also, so people say probably I shouldn't sit here, maybe I'm holding the mobile in this angle, so India is losing the match, and everybody presses exit and they come on the home screen. Now, is your home screen ready to handle 20 million concurrent users suddenly? Maybe yes, maybe no. Yeah, these are scenarios where you have to do a lot of simulation, where you have to understand how users behave, how applications scale, especially when you're deploying B2C applications, even B2B, high transaction applications in supply chain, high transaction applications in digital payments, high transaction applications in areas related to IoT. These are places where you need to have scale essentially. And that's where some of the solutions from SUSE, like container management, like the new solution that we launched called Harvester, which is a hyper-converged infrastructure, and all of that comes into play. Second example is, all of you know what operating system is. I think SUSE Linux has been there in the market along with our competitor Red Hat and CentOS and Ubuntu and Oracle Linux and all of those guys. We have been more well known for, because 98% of global SAP HANA runs on SUSE Linux. So most of you who have SAP know that SUSE Linux is running there. What you won't know is probably in the previous screen, which I showed you, the whole containers, the founders of Dockers, if you have heard that, they kind of stepped out and started a company called Rancher, which is now a part of SUSE. So SUSE acquired Rancher, and we are in the part of the top quadrant of Forrester and IDC and Gartner and all of that. So we are up there. The second area, which is traditional for us at SUSE, is the Linux operating system. So most of you know what an operating system is, but recently we launched a real-time operating system. A real-time operating system is that which is deployed on an edge device because it has to operate at an extraordinarily high speed. Yeah, a few 100 millisecond worth of reaction time is needed. That's what is called a soft real-time application. Or you have a hard real-time where it is in low digit milliseconds. But a standard operating system is about 20 GB, whereas a real-time operating system is much smaller. It's much smaller. Yeah, it's in a few MB, yeah, megabytes. And that's the size that is available on a chip in a hardware device. And that's why it's a real-time operating system. In the world of 5G, you will start seeing slowly that your edge devices will increase, and you will need to have manage with patches and with zero cyber security challenges. You'll have to manage operating systems across 500,000 devices. So real-time operating system from SUSE, and managing this operating system using something like a SUSE manager. And I'm throwing a few jargons here, but essentially you get what I'm trying to say. So real-time operating system for edge applications is becoming very interesting. We have several cases, customers worldwide, where we are doing this. Third, and again, another interesting fact, TinyML. Those of you who are following artificial intelligence and machine learning, and I can't think of anybody on this call who doesn't know what it is or doesn't know what it means in the real world today. What I'm sure some of you are aware of is GTP3, and which has resulted in hardware and software has now amalgamated. So in a 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter chip, the size of the top segment of my finger, on this, you can burn an artificial intelligence algorithm on this. I can burn 50,000 employee photographs on a chip of this size and put that on a camera. It doesn't need to connect to Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, nothing. That's called TinyML. Now, TinyML or micro, that connects to an industrial hardware, which then connects to your data center, which then connects to your cloud. You may or may not have your data center, but depending on how you're structured, you could have 3 or 4 steps between your cloud / data center and your tiny edge. Yeah. So these are the layers through which the whole TinyML and edge device explosion is happening in the market. A 1 rupee coin size battery is all it needs, and it can run for a year without any maintenance, and it can keep taking decisions on its own. It has low latency, which means decisions are immediate and instant. It requires low power, requires low bandwidth, and very secure, because the data is not moving to cloud, not moving to any hardware, nothing. It stays on that mini edge device. Yeah, that's the beauty. But when you put this mini edge device into action, you can create a very interesting solution. Just take a look at this. I'm not going to have volume on it, but it's okay because it's more visual and easy to understand.
Please put on a mask. Welcome. You are number 3. Please take a seat. Number 1. Please go to room 7.
So that was an example of how TinyML works. Doesn't require any a major connectivity, doesn't require any data movement. But when you add that to a scheme of things, you can roll out a very, very interesting solution. So real-time operating systems and connecting edge to tiny edge and all of that is a very interesting domain. We have a full day workshop designed for those of you who are interested in doing something hands-on. Irrespective of the level in the organization, you should attend this. Let us know if you want to do that full day workshop on edge devices. We will show you what can be done using tiny edge, industrial hardware, data center, cloud. How do things move across these layers and what can you do with this technology? Please let us know. We'll be happy to do it. Another example is, and again, some of you might know this, is on a space shuttle, there is about 0.4 million lines of code. On an aeroplane, there is 14 million lines of code. On a fighter jet, there is 24 million lines of code. But in a premium car like Porsche today, you have 100 million lines of code. That is 2022. Yeah. And what that is doing is you now have that complicated wiring harness that you see in the car. Just open the hood of your car and you will see that wiring harness. All that is gone because there's no engine anymore in the electric car. There is a small 6-inch by 6-inch by 3-inch black box, and that is the supercomputer that goes into your car. We are working very closely with many companies, including Electrobit, which is a Continental company, and they have created this high performance computer which goes into a car. So now windscreen wiper is an application, brake is an application, right indicator, left indicator is an app. All these are apps on that computer which is connected to internet on one side to check weather, location of McDonald's, your seating height, your likes and dislikes, your Facebook account. It's connected to internet on one side, and on the other side it is connected to the tires, the windscreen wiper, the headlight, tail light, music system, air conditioner. Those 100+ microchips inside your car are all gone, and now there is one single supercomputer which is going to be replacing all of that. So there is one Cat5 cable that runs in your car. There's nothing else. It's like a data center on wheels. That's what's going to happen to your fridge, your washing machine, to everything else. And that's where the world is moving to. And irrespective of how large or small you are, it is worth experimenting with edge. It's worth experimenting with enterprise containers. It's worth experimenting with real-time OS and some of the things. Globally, we have been doing that across companies. So finance companies who want to deploy a super app, I'm sure you've heard that name these days. Everybody wants to deploy a super app because 80% of a consumer's time is spent on the top 3 apps. If you are developing a mobile app, you have to struggle for 20% of the time, which is consumed by close to 35 applications. God knows how much time one will get. But finance companies are doing it. Retail companies are doing it. We are there across OTT platforms who require Netflix and all these guys who are caching their movies on the edge data centers so that they are available at low latency. We provide storage solutions and many other container-driven applications for them. Healthcare, defense, we are present in a very big way. Very soon you will see an announcement which says that Suse is a part of the 10 billion transaction a day platform, and which is going to be tested as we speak. It is being tested for a 10 billion transactions a day platform. We are now a part of 1 billion. We will be a part of the 10 billion very soon. Yeah, these many transactions per day. So you can assume it's a digital payments application. Because of NDA reasons, I can't tell you the name, but it's one of the most popular across India. We are also seeing a lot of consumption of the enterprise containers worldwide. So Kubernetes is being adopted left, right, and center by all these companies that you see on this slide. We have close to 1 million. I don't know if it's 1 million. If Joel is on the call, he might correct me, whether it's 1 million or 3 million downloads. We have people downloading. It's an open source software. I'm sure you know that. So anybody can download the latest version. start using it in building applications and deploying applications. We are 100% open source, which means we will not even tell you that if you're using our container management system, you feel free to use Ubuntu under it. We don't push you to use SUSE. Yeah. So we are absolutely open source. And we call ourselves Innovate Anywhere platform, because whether it is edge, whether it is data center, or it is cloud, we are present on all three, and we allow you the freedom to innovate on our platforms in an open source way. So 3 football fields in which SUSE plays. The first one is Linux, which you are aware of, and you will be, as I said, more aware of SLES for SAP or SUSE Linux for SAP. Many customers call us and say, your SLES also works under SAP. So can I use SLES under SAP, or should I use your special version? I say, if you put a Maruti 800 tire under your WagonR, will it work? Maybe yes. But is it the best thing to do? Your choice. So we always recommend that our tires are made for a certain specific car. It's well designed, defined, engineered for that car. It's fine-tuned for that car. The support mechanism is designed to support that car, which is why SLES for ARM, SLES for SAP, SLES for high performance compute. If you are doing AI ML projects in your manufacturing locations, we have SUSE Linux available in various formats for all of you. Second football field is the container management. And the third one is edge, which I just talked about, where our real-time Linux or a Rancher, which is our container management solution, and so on and so forth, play a big role. So what we offer our customers essentially is services, support services, consulting services, training services, and premium services. That's what we offer as a part of our overall execution. Just a couple of slides more. Many of our customers who are setting up large data centers are currently talking to us because they are interested in deploying our solutions across data centers. If you are consuming services from a data center, whether you're using Google, Amazon, Azure, Yotta, Adani Connects, and I can go on and on, they all have our solutions available for a per user per month, sorry, for a per month kind of a node, per month kind of a workload. So we offer our services through cloud operators also. If you are setting up your own data center and you want it to behave just like a cloud, then we have solutions for that too. So we essentially have our container management engine. We have the Linux, enterprise Linux application. We have Longhorn, which is a storage solution, so on and so forth. So even if you are setting up a data center of your own, more than happy to engage with you and work with you globally. Large data centers like Rackspace, like Tyro Payments, whose data center runs end-to-end on SUSE Linux for high availability. They have deployed SUSE Manager because they manage 4 or 5 different versions of Linux. Schneider runs their entire data center globally on SUSE. Cloud is another area where I'm sure you are moving to. If you have a team, internal development team, or if you are working with, for example, Sedibuz team, you will have, for each project, you will have to give access to 3 instances, a test and development, a production, and a sandbox. So you have 3 instances for each project that you're doing. Now, when you have a container-driven environment and you're doing a DevOps project, you'll have to have a few instances, maybe on Amazon, some on Azure, some on Google, some you may have on your in-house data center. But if you want a single platform to manage this Kubernetes distributions across these locations, then that is where our enterprise container management or Rancher solution kicks in. It offers unified enterprise management and accelerates your entire DevOps and DevSecOps operations. Yeah, I won't go too tech deep because this is not a call for that. I'm only giving you some high-level information that is being used by many of our large customers. Modernizing applications, as I said, so you look at the Asian Paints application, or you look at Zomato, or you look at MG Motors, the whole consumer application for garage, for vehicle service, or you look at 1MG. These are examples of applications which are modern applications. We used to build applications in 1995, in 2005, in 2015, and now in 2022. The way we develop these applications has changed dramatically. Today, if you are building an application, it has to be mobile app. It has to have cloud. It has to be on the cloud. It has to have AR, VR. It has to connect to IoT. I mean, it goes on and on. The list just goes on. So when you're building such smarter, faster, easy to use applications, the DevOps team that you have is a young bunch of people who refuses to work on lethargic application development environments. You need, or they expect, these tools provided to them for building applications to be equally smart and jazzy. So we have invested heavily in making our applications easy to use and easy to consume. And if you decide to take a look at it, do let us know. Happy to come and show you how developers are developing applications using our layers. For some of you who understand DevOps, this won't be new, but for those for whom this is slightly new, there are 11 layers that your DevOps team uses, right? From authentication, where you might be using Okta or GitHub or LDAP. For the CI/CD environment, you might use Jenkins or Bamboo. We offer Fleet from our side. Monitoring and logging, we offer out of the box Grafana, Prometheus, or Fluent. Your development team might be comfortable with Splunk or Grafana. You feel free to choose. And registry and platform orchestration, so on and so forth. So we have certain solutions in these 11 layers from our stack. We offer SLAs on certain open source solution as a part of our stack. And if they are not a part of our stack, but they are industry standard and well accepted in the market, then we have certified integrations for those. And all this is open source. Yeah. So having these 11 layers running seamlessly at one click and without any challenges, that's what we are trying to offer to our customers, because building new applications open source without any licensing is the new mantra. Many customers are doing it, and I'm sure you are too. So happy to be a part of this DevOps journey with you for sure. Yeah. Last but not the least, all these applications that you develop have to be safe. If you recruit a fresh engineer out of college and ask him to become a part of the team that is building your HR application, for example, how do you ensure that this fresh graduate, whatever he's developing, is safe, secure? You do that by ensuring that your base image is hardened, your organizational security policies are embedded. You can do all of this default without the end developer even knowing about it. And that's where our tools come into play. So building secure applications has to be a part of the design, not an afterthought. Yeah. And that's what we enable, which is why world's largest gaming company like Ubisoft uses our solution, or ATM machines, by the way, from Kanyakumari to whatever, Leh Ladakh, all ATMs of SBI run on SUSE. We have IDFC who runs on SUSE Rancher. We have many such customers in India who interestingly, they download and use our software. We don't even know because it's open source. It's only when they come to us for support, that's when we enroll them. And the customer list goes on. Yeah. Edge, I talked about it, so I won't repeat too much because time is limited. Whether it is a manufacturing execution system, whether it is a robotics machine, whether it is smart logistics application that you want to have, we have solutions for all of that. You want to do a POC on Raspberry Pi, which today is, by the way, quite advanced than what it was 5 years back, or you want to do it on ARM chipsets. As I said, do the 9 to 5 workshop with us on Edge. You will certainly learn a lot of new things, because we operate with K3S at the edge level, with SLI Micro and K3S at the industrial hardware, and we are there as RKE2 and Rancher in the cloud. We are there in all 3 layers. So over-the-air update, over-the-air upgrade of point of sales across the country, of manufacturing execution system being updated across 5 or 6 manufacturing plants over the air. These are things that become easy when you have an infrastructure and an architecture like this. Yeah, I will skip this because that will become too much. And these edge deployments are right from Hypergiant, which is there in the sky on a satellite, all the way to Airbus, whose weather systems collect data and send it to every aeroplane. These are the kind of scale at which we operate, or bottling plants with real-time data and real-time analytics, and the list goes on. Yeah, I won't get into all of these. Retail outlets who are trying AR, VR solutions on handhelds, or industrial applications using virtual reality. There are a bunch of such customers that we have globally who are running these things. In India, we have across finance, IT, media, telecom, healthcare, government, retail, CPG, all industries. We've got large number of customers. As I said, we have been there in the market long enough. It's just that SUSE is not the kind of company who yanks about it a lot. Our competitor has been doing that for a long time, which is why size-wise, we may not appear as big as our competitor, but we are certainly a lot more innovative and definitely a lot more open source than most of our competitors out there. Yeah. So with that, all I can say is really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to share what SUSE does, share a few interesting things that are happening in the market, like containerization, like real-time Linux being used for edge, like the whole Kubernetes journey that many customers are taking. And of course, there are new areas that we can talk of if we get a chance to meet and share more face to face. Yeah. So really appreciate your taking the time to hear me out. And I look forward to engaging with you. I've given an opportunity. Thank you so much, Kiran. Back to you.
Thanks, Neeraj. Thank you very much. So without wasting too much of time, I would now request Krunal to take over the session. Krunal, over to you.
Thank you, Kiran, and thank you, Neeraj, for a wonderful presentation today. Really a lot of eye-opening for me. It is just not an operating system that I used to know, but it is much beyond that. So thank you for enlightening us. And came to Ahmedabad. I hope everyone is safe and sound in these crazy times. I started, this augmented reality in India journey in December 2022 when we launched this product in the CIOKlub event at the national level. And since then, we have come a long way for now being around 14 customers in the rollout phase, experimenting with our AR solutions have been a very good journey with CIOKlub, and it continues. So friends, here I am today to talk about what your peers have experimented and are doing in ensuring that you are able to harness the maximum benefit of all the investments that you are doing in your digital transformation applications. TeamViewer by and large is one of the leader in remote support and remote access, remote control solution. But our journey has been very, very colorful. Since 2005 of our existence, we have been constantly delivering solutions for help people. With that aim, in 2018, we started our journey in Industry 4.0 and introduced augmented reality onto mobile. And 2020 was a defining year for us, where we acquired some of the largest augmented reality platforms in Europe and North America, which brought a very whole lot of experience as well as expertise in ready AR platforms. If you look at TeamViewer positioning today, we are in the center of all the major mega trends happening around us. If you pick up your organization, and I'm sure you can pick up any industry, there will be at least 2 or 3 of these mega trends that you are thinking about, whether it is Industry 4.0 or whether it is robotics or whether it is sustainability and so on and so forth. And the base layer is connectivity. You need to connect. So that's where we come into play. We give a strong encrypted connectivity platform. Our platform is now getting used to connect to point of sale, to solar winds, to windmills, and so on and so forth. And then you need to support those things. So support of things becomes a very important area. And that's where visual support of things on augmented reality for industries has become a very, very hot discussion topic. Not only that, analysts like Gartner's, IDC, Forrester, in their future scopes, in their industry trends, have showed very clearly that industries or companies who are experimenting in connecting the unconnected workers and getting them into the digital transformation journey will immensely be profitable in productivity wise. TeamViewer has evolved, and now we have 3 major areas where we play. One is, which is known to you, the blue color box, remote control, remote support, screen sharing. Then we have the managed enterprise connectivity, which is more to do with connecting your entire smart things. Whether it is a PLM, PLC, whether it is a windmill, whether it is a point of sale, or whether it is an IoT device, or it's a vehicle tracking system. We provide a very secure single dashboard connectivity solution, which is encrypted end to end. Not only that, as Neeraj has pointed out, that the world is moving towards edge. We help you do a remote access into that edge, to remote control that edge. And we are very, very open and flexible. Tomorrow you want to experiment with a new operating system or a new edge device. We will be very happy to work with you to kind of create our agent, which is customized to that particular solution. So we are looking for such partnerships where we can work with industries, where we can work with companies to deliver managed enterprise connectivity. But today's topic, which is operational workflow optimization. Friends, any day in a life of a worker in your industry, he could be a logistics worker, he could be a shop floor worker, he could be a building plan maintenance engineer, or he could be a safety engineer. His work in a day is basically nothing but a set of procedures that he has to follow on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. So basically, that is nothing but a workflow. How do we enable this process, which is currently happening on paper, manually, or even if some organizations have improved, they may use handguns or scanners into your mainstream and integrate it with your system of records, which could be your ERP system, your asset managers, your warehouse managers, and so on and so forth. The other challenge is, friends, we have been always thinking about application digital transformation, about application landscape, keeping enterprise application, and that 30% of our workforce which has desk or which has computers. But study proves that more than 80% of the global work is done by those people who don't have a desk. Shop floor, warehouse operator, field service manager. They are not connected with your endpoints. So how do we connect them? Rather, they are the first point of contact to consume as well as generate the data. And we already see a lag in that process because a human-centric process takes a while for updating the system of record. And there is always a chance that this human-centric process may have some human intelligence in it, and which may not be the exact reflection of the event. So how do we get all this together? There are more than so many people retiring. You yourself must have experienced at times that you lose a senior engineer and you're not able to fix because it is so much in that main brain of that person that it is not documented anywhere. It is not in the process. So this fragmented digital transformation approach is not creating the value which we look for an enterprise application. And that's the problem what we want to solve. Enterprises have been investing in IT, in enterprise application. Still, the outcome or the productivity challenge remains on both the sides. On the management side, because you don't need to get the data on time, you don't have the right set of skills to finish the work. On the worker side, he does not get the guidance when he needs it. He at the time has to do everything paper and then update it in the backend systems. And this all is creating a problem of productivity. The solution to this is wearables. TeamViewer Frontline platform is a software as a service platform for augmented reality, which works across all the wearables. It could be smart wearables for eyes. It could be RFID scanners. It could be ring scanners. It could be QR code scanners, and so on and so forth. So friends, our Frontline platform or our software platform enables you to, it is like an operating system for your unconnected workers. Starting with the most common use case, which is supporting someone who is working in the field, on the floor, and reducing the downtime of your breakdown, is remote support, or our see what I see use case. I have a smart wearable or a smartphone, and using that camera and with the AR algorithm built on that, I can guide the engineer on the field who may not be very trained, not be very skilled, to fix that problem. That improves my turnaround time. Friends, next adjacent use case to that is inspection. In all your plants, all your factories, all your companies, you have very systematic way of conducting this inspection. This inspection could be as complex as preventive maintenance of a plant, or as trivial as just a safety management of the building. But they're still checklisted. You go through that paper. What we are saying is we digitize this inspection and give it to you on a smart wearable, completely guided, completely recorded in real time from your system of records. Moving to more specific industry problems. Let's look at warehouse. Warehouse basically does what? It does inbound logistics, it does warehouse management systems, and it does outbound logistics. Inbound logistics is, am I getting what I have been supposed to get? Where in WMS systems tells you, is my inventory up to date? And the outbound is, am I shipping what I have to ship as per the purchase order or not? With a smart wearable on frontline platform, we are able to guide the warehouse operator to do the right picking, to do the right sorting and inventory management, and all in real time, up to date in the backend systems. Look at manufacturing. A lot of us are from manufacturing, discrete assembly line, and so on and so forth. We understand that there are so many processes in manufacturing are repeated, are human driven, and we still see a high error rate there. How do we reduce that? By making that person enable with the information that is required to fix that assembly in real time. And that's what all about smart manufacturing is. So friends, whether it is a simple remote support use case to reduce your turnaround time for an unscheduled breakdown, or a complex manufacturing problem where you have a very high error rate in the assembly, augmented reality along with wearable is one of the solution which is very viable. With advent of networks, with advent of low cost hardware, augmented reality is becoming more and more proliferated. It is not a technology of future. It is technology now. You can deploy it. This is out of the box. It comes with a very simple drag and drop workflow builder. You can create your own workflows and render it on any device. Say it be a smart wearable like an eyewear, say it be a mobile device. The power of platform placed comes into the play. This is what we all know. But today, after last 1 year, there are something very exciting and new things which have come up and which I really want to share here with this team. (3D) enterprises want to experiment on low cost, safe environment to train their employees who are actually going into the real life production environment. Three-dimensional capabilities on our AR platforms become very, very powerful for solving that problem. And look at this. So friends, this is out of the box. You give us a CAD CAM drawing and we will create a 3D virtual image and show it to you in your environment. Three-dimensional augmented reality, mixed reality solution is helping a lot of enterprises solve a lot of industry problems, training, inspection, assembling, as well as creating a whole 3D factory model to create a smart factory. We are very, very excited about the technology. We have the knowledge, experience, and products. We need your support to basically come forward and let's experiment together and make something very, very successful out of this. Not only that, we have a very, very deep integration with SAP. We are SAP endorsed partners, which is among the top layers of SAP partnership. We have ready out of the box integration. What problem are we trying to solve with SAP? SAP has asset management, extended asset management, warehouse management, field service management, and so on and so forth. We give the last mile for that. If you send a field service engineer to fix a particular problem, he is recorded and reported in the SAP system. However, when he's on the field, He supported over the augmented reality video support solutions. And that solves the problem in real time, reduces the iteration of the time the engineer is going on the field. Same is the case with asset management for inventory checks and so on and so forth. Industrial augmented reality is real. It is not only working with your humans, but also working with your IoT. And Neeraj has so well explained us about the edge. Now you have edge, which gives you the device notification. How do you close the feedback and work on this? And here is a short demo, which shows that how you can get those feedback onto your smart glass and start working with TeamViewer frontline platform. So that is how your edge device will send information onto your smart wearable, and using the frontline platform will guide the engineer to fix the problem. So starting with supporting your field engineers to complex manufacturing processes in a workflow driven environment, we have experience working with a lot of large manufacturers, suppliers in across different industries, solving different real-time industry problems. Some of the very relevant use cases is maintenance, repair and operations, training, after sales support, complex manufacturing operations, asset management and integration with data, and upskilling your existing teams. We also help a lot of enterprises to reduce their carbon footprint. And this is the research report which was published last year. And we are very proud of it that we play our part in the sustainability journey for this world. Thank you so much for the time. That is what I had to present today. Giving it back to Kiran and Anish. Thank you.